And who doesn't love a little bit of free agency slot machine? And gentlemen, there are some big time names out there. I know my mom, my grandmas love the slots. I'm more of a table games type of girl, but guys, for the purposes of this exercise, we're all going to be fans of slot machines. Are you guys on board?
Absolutely.
Ready.
Okay, so let's spin it. I think we pull the lever, or sometimes you push a button, but I prefer the lever. We like old school. Let's see who we get
What do
here.
we got?
No whammies.
A lot more free agents this year, too.
A ton, right? Ooh, JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr., 2018 ALCS MVP, 220 home run seasons in his career, including 21 in 2019. Franimal, which team?
Oh, you're coming to me first. I was going to defer to Mr. Verducci.
Well, we can do that.
Actually, this takes the pressure off so that I don't look like I'm just taking time selections here. But I think Jackie Bradley Jr., and I'm going with where he should end up, not will. I think he'd be a good fit for the Rays because the Rays are on a team that's going to spend a ton of money. He can help shore up their defensive outfield. He could be a late defensive replacement. Also, he had a pretty good 2020 in terms of what he did offensively because that's always kind of been the knock on JBJ. Tremendous dude. So he would definitely fit in that clubhouse. So I think he's, to me, the kind of Rays player that would kind of fit in that organization. And I also do some honorable mentions. Honorable mention, I think he goes back to Boston. But that's...
Yeah, I think Boston's still in play. It's a good call on the Rays. The pitchers would love that. An outfield with Kiermaier and Bradley out there.
You go.
I mean, they don't even need a third outfielder. Two guys can cover it. I'm going Houston Astros because I don't think George Springer is going back there. I still think George is either Mets or Blue Jays. So they're going to need a center fielder, and I love to watch this guy play center field. And it's not just running the balls down. It's how true he throws the baseball from center field. So he's a difference maker in the outfield.
Ooh, I like those picks, guys. And yeah, Fran, you referenced that. He kind of had like a sneaky good offensive season in 2020, 7 homers and an 814 OPS in 55 games played. Okay, time to pull the lever again. Are you guys pulling the lever like this? Is there any sort of strategy or technique to it?
No technique,
Just
no.
keep that arm loose.
Oh, Jock Peterson, kind of Mr. Postseason, 9 career postseason home runs, tied for 5th most in Dodgers history. This postseason, guys, a 382 average, turns 29 years old on April 21st. Mr. Verducci, we will start with you this time.
Yeah, as we know, he's never really got some run there with LA to hit against lefties.
Unbelievable.
Brief moments he hasn't hit them, but it's hard to do that when you don't get a lot of exposure. I'm not sure he's going to get a chance to be an everyday guy, but I'd rather see him in the same position in terms of playing on a really good team in a limited role, and that's the Chicago White Sox. How about their lineup? It's amazing. It's a lot of right-handed hitting. And I think Jock can really go in. They thought Mazzaro was going to be that guy. He didn't turn out to be the answer for them. Left-hand power hitter, right fielder. So, yeah, I mean, sorry for Jock. I know he wants to play every day, but that's not a good place to land right now. I mean, that is a good place to land with the White Sox.
And I like that, because that would lengthen a lineup that's already a dynamite out of sight. I haven't. There was talk last year that he was going to be dealt to the Angels, and that trade ended up not going through. And I think with what we saw with Joey Adell's struggles in Anaheim, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, about what his plans are for 2021. But I think he could fit in nicely in that Angels outfield. And I think, to me, he's one of the most interesting free agents out there because, like you said, we've never really seen him hit against left-handed pitching. And I think, I mean, if I'm him, I want the opportunity to do it. Yeah, granted, you won a World Series championship in LA, but I'd want to show that I'm a complete player. I think the Angels is a spot where, Joe Madden gets him out there, they get a little more thump. I mean, his numbers offensively for only seeing right-handed pitching, I mean, they're ridiculous. So if he gets even, minor production dealing with left-handers, I think that would help a team. Also, my honorable mention for him, Cleveland. Because Cleveland's had issues getting power out of their outfield positions, and so he can go there and put a lot of thump in the lineup more.
I appreciate the honorable mentions there. Let's move on to our next selection. As we pull the lever, I wanted to make that a little bit more.
the only thing I'm safe at in Vegas, because otherwise lose too much tape.
That's a good point. I mean, you can pay the penny slots. Andrelton Simmons. Hey, we were talking about Anaheim as a potential landing spot there for Jock Peterson, four-time Gold Glove winner 2013-14 season and 2017-18. Finished 8th in the AL MVP voting in 2017. Tom, where should he land?
This is a really interesting call. A guy obviously is a premier defender, probably the most talented defender at shortstop position. I don't think he's going to get a multi-year deal just because of that free agent crazy class that's coming up at the end of the 21 season. You want to leave that spot open. But I think he, on a one-year deal, to me, he could fit with either the Phillies or the Yankees. Right. You know, I think you go in there, you solve the position. I'm going to say the Yankees because I think they're clearly not sold on Gleyber Torres as the everyday shortstop. And because of the way he plays defense, and if you're a team that has a lot of offense, you can easily carry him because he'll make a pitching staff look really good. And he's as good on pop-ups as any shortstop I've seen.
All right, so you're validating me. I feel good. Tom
like that?
and I
like
are kind of on the same page. But I'm going with the Phillies instead of the Yankees because I think Didi obviously is there, but probably not coming back as a free agent. And I think they need infielders. And, I mean, they got Segura, they got Alec Bohm, but they don't necessarily have an everyday shortstop. Andrelton's great defensively, and the fact that he doesn't have a ton of pop, offensively, that's in a lineup like the Phillies have, that's okay. And like you said, I mean, any pitcher would love to have Andrelton Simmons in the 6-hole for him. So. But I wanted, and I have no honorable mention there. I think the Phillies is where he should go.
It's a good call. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough year to be part of this free agency class, especially since he missed a large portion of the last 2 seasons due to ankle injuries. So it's a small sample size for these teams to look at, but maybe he's well rested if you want to put a positive spin on it.
And great defender.
Yes,
great defender.
Yeah. Tremendous defender. All right, guys. Our final pull on the slot machine because, well, frankly, I'm just running out of money. But hopefully,
Lauren, is there any technique to pulling the lever, like fast or slow?
I think you're supposed to do it really fast and say something really cool. But I'm still thinking about that. Boomstick, Nelson Cruz, guys, 395 home runs since the start of 2009, are 37 more than any other player during that span. 12 of 16 home runs hit this season, traveled at least 400 feet. I think it's a huge understatement to say that he has a little bit of power in that bat. Tom, where should he land?
He should stay right where he is. I mean, I can't see him going to another team. The Twins would be crazy if they let him go. We know they want him back. It's a matter of what the contract is, but it's been such a good fit there. He's such a good, well, first of all, he hits, all right? He's a premier hitter. And I'm going to go to his impact in the clubhouse, the way guys look up to him, and he helps other young hitters with hitting, but he produces, man. That's number one reason I want him back.
At a high
he's
level.
A good guy, but he produces.
I'm going to go to something that you said earlier in the show about the Tampa Bay Rays. And the fact that they need a guy who can come in there and just be a serious power guy. He could DH for him, obviously. And he's 40 years old, and who knows? Maybe he'll be like Tom Brady. He'll play until he's 45, 46, 47. But they might not necessarily have to sign him to, a long-term deal, 1 year, 2 years. And he would really help. Instead of having to worry about getting 4 or 5 hits in a postseason game, you get there, he could change a game in a hurry for him. So I like the Rays. And my honorable mention is for him to go back to Minnesota.
Well,
but what do you think about the Rays?
I love that call because Lauren said at this game, where should these guys land?
Right.
And I love the fit. But the Rays are a team that didn't pick up the $15 million option on Charlie Morton.
I know.
So Cruz is probably going to get more than a $15 million AAV.
Right.
But should they sign him? Absolutely. That's a really good fit.
All right, okay.
That's a good idea.
What do you think, Lauren?
I don't know if the Rays will deviate from the game plan there, but I love that thought. I love that you're just stacking the Rays up right now on the offense.
Trying to. I mean, trying to give them some juice, trying to get
more wins.
Let's see them go all the way.
Just trying to get them 2 more wins.